Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and it is good to be with you here tonight. I'm just trying to adjust my lighting a little bit before we get going here. So, I think that's going to be better, not quite so much glare. So let me know when you get here. I've got some fun stamping projects for you. This is going to be after we do this over here. Lord have mercy, lots of stuff. Hope you are having a good day. We are heading into the big Easter weekend, and this is my regular Thursday night stamping. So every Thursday night I come to you with a live broadcast here on Facebook, and then I download that and upload it to YouTube so that if people are not on Facebook, they can still access our fun stamping projects. So, hello there, Margaret. I'm glad you're here from Virginia. We were just booking flights today for a visit to Williamsburg this summer to visit our daughter and son-in-law and grandchildren there, and we're also going to be attending a pastor's conference while we're there, so lots of fun things. We've got all of our holidays booked for the year now. I knew that we were going to Hong Kong and to Virginia to see family and Florida to see family, so we got all the airline tickets booked this week, and it's good to know the dates and good to feel settled with that. Hey, Kim, I'm glad you're here with me tonight. Okay. And hey, Gloria, I'm so glad you're here with me. So let me tell you what we're going to be doing tonight and tell you a little bit about what's what. I love to showcase the retiring list, which is now the last chance list. And so I'm going to be showcasing mainly things that are on the last chance list, with a few things that are sticking around, carrying over, and one of our brand new in colors as well. So lots of variety. These are cards. Hey, Linda, I'm so glad you remembered, so you could join us tonight. These are cards I'm going to be featuring at my in-person class, last Saturday card class. And I needed to do that tonight versus next week because I'm going to be doing some other things next week with, I think that is when I'm doing my new catalog. Let me look at that date. Let's see. I think that's when I'm doing my new catalog launch. I don't know. Anyway, I'm doing it here tonight, so I've been a little back to front with some of my dates, but I do offer an online card class every month, and everybody can just enjoy the ride, enjoy the cards, enjoy some fun card making. If you do want the packets, you can get those with a $40 order that you place between now and Sunday. There's no more host code, so you don't have to put a host code in. I will know by the date that you order that you want these card packets for free. Now, I'm going to be doing 4 tonight. If you come to my in-person class, we do 5. Now, don't pay attention to that. That is another card that we're doing in a few minutes. So I'm going to start out with the blues. So I'm going to do, I call this an open book fun fold. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but I call it open book. So I'm going to show you how to make this. And one of the things I like about this is it's a great way to showcase kind of busy designer series papers and also feature some really fun stamping on the front. Now, I did this same card during the holidays. Let me grab this. You may remember this. I think I did this back in November or December. So the same kind of concept, and I really like it. So let's get busy and see where we're going. Now, this paper, this is, I think, a quarter pack. This is that Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper. Really, really beautiful. What I like about this is, although you have citrus on one side, you have navy and white on the other. And that means that that you can just do all kinds of fun things. These are very, very neutral because they are navy and white. Okay, let's see. I think that we have a little bit of a spammer on here, so we'll just ignore that in the comments. Okay, I am not going to get distracted. Here we go. So I am using Balmy Blue, and this is just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, and this is, I'm using the smaller pattern for the background piece, and just doing a little 5 1/4 by 4 piece like so. And then I am going to, this is supposed to be smaller, and I've cut it the wrong size. Did I cut these the wrong size as well? No. Yep, I did them all the wrong size. Okay, so let me get my trimmer. While I'm trimming these down a little bit, I did want to show you that I used a little piece of boho blue. Now this cardstock has already sold out in the single color. I believe you can still get the what do you call it? The variety pack, the assorted pack. So yeah, this should be a 1/4 inch smaller. So let's get these trimmed down. This is, yeah, this should be 3 1/4. Okay, so we will get these to 3 1/4, and I believe 3 1/4 by, yep, 4 1/2. Okay, so let's get all of these done. And our trimmer allows you to do, you know, you can do 2 pieces of cardstock at once if it's the basic white. I don't know that I would want to do that with our colored cardstock because it is considerably thicker. So not sure I would do that. But with the white or with our designer series papers, you can definitely do that. Now, I will tell you that I've got a little bit of gunk there, a little bit of adhesive. When you place an order and get the card packets for free, you do get the tutorials. So you get all the measurements and everything. Okay, now I'm not going to stick this down yet because I'm going to put this piece here for the inside of my card. And I think it's such a pretty pattern. This very much reminds me of Greece. I think that's probably what they intended when they were making this. Now, I do need, this is going to be the inside here. I'm going to stamp this before I put that down. And I do want to put this on the inside on my Christmas card. I did put a greeting on the inside, but on this one, I'm not going to. You could definitely do a little something there, but I'm just going to leave it. Did I already stick that down? Yep. Okay. That was not intended. Okay, so I'm going to slip. I've got just a little hinge here. So I'm going to stick that down, and my best bet for that is to grab a little bit of green glue. And I just have, you know, this is just a little hinge, just a little, like a little book bind, like a little binding piece. So I like to put this smaller piece inside here, and I'm just going to lift it like so, slide it in there, and get it right up against the edge and press. Got a little bit of adhesive there. Not too bad. Okay. And by using the liquid glue, it allows you to kind of wiggle it into place a little bit. And this is then going to go right like so. And I'm going to adhere it right. Once again, I got a little carried away. Started putting things down before I should. I need to be paying attention to my own instructions. Okay, so now I'm going to do like this and like this. And you can see how all of your papers are equidistant, so it's really easy just to kind of line it up like so. Now I can put, you see, this is why I want to put the designer paper there, because I want to cover up that little piece. Now I'm going to cover it up further with some ribbon. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll do our stamping piece last. Now, this is another item that is in our last chance list. This is that navy ribbon with the gold glitter. I don't think any of what I'm using tonight has sold out yet, but you know, we're at that time of the Stampin' Up! Year when things start selling out, and I think it's exciting. So I know some people it frustrates and it gets them all stressed out. I think it's fun. So this little touch of gold is really nice here, and I will say, the other thing I really like about this is this organza ribbon has a little bit of body, and it makes it really, really easy to tie. It's almost like it has a little bit of wire in it. It doesn't, but it kind of has that thickness and that body, almost like the ribbon that you make wreaths and things with. So there is going to add just a touch of gold, which we're going to tie into later. Now that is all ready. My little book is all ready for some stamping on the outside. Now this is going to be super fun. So what we're going to do, this is not the right one. This is the one here. Okay, that is exactly it. Now I'm going to use 2 different blues. There's my little tag. Let me do this first. This is Stamped with Love. This is a beautiful stamp set. Love, love, love it. Of course, it has our Angel Policy stamp. So if you want to sell your stamped cards, that is requested that you put, there's always something in the catalog and lots of retired ones that have the copyright. But these are really fun images, and I did Love You Always. I think, yeah, it's already mounted, so I won't change things up. Let's just go with what is in here. I'm going to use Blueberry Bushel. You could definitely use navy as well, but I went with something that is a little bit softer. Well, my stamp is not in there. Oh yeah, it is right in front of my face. Okay. I did get some of my ducks in a row. Here we go, Blueberry Bushel, or if you are in England, Blueberry Bushel. Let's get this. Love You Always. Now, you know what I like about this is I can always put on the inside, I can put Happy Birthday, I can put just Love You Always. I'm thinking about you, and I wanted to send you a pretty card. So lots of leeway with that. I think I will leave that open, and I need something to clean my stamp. I'm going to have ink everywhere. Here we go. Now, we are going to start with this stamp set, and this is on our last chance list. And we're going to make blue flowers. This is painted lavender. Obviously, these are, you know, they can be any color, but they look really nice, I think, in blues, in pinks, and in purples. So I'm going to go with the blues tonight, and I'm going to start with the really full one first, and I am going to get some scrap paper here because I'm going to stamp it off first, and then I'm going to put that right down here in this corner. And I'm going to stamp it off again and put it in this top corner so that we're kind of coming towards the center. And then I'm going to ink it up just the top and do just a little bit up here in full strength and a little bit down here in full strength. And that is going to be a wrap on that particular stamp. So I need to get my little wipey thing for my Glass Mat Studio. Haha, it's right here, right exactly where I wanted it. And I am going to, oh, yeah. Should have put some paper underneath me instead of just over here. Okay. Now I'm going to cover this up because I don't want to get it everywhere. Although I think I have to do another little bit with that. Yeah, let's put this under here. Okay, so we are going to go one more time. I was closing it up too quickly. I'm going to take this really skinny flower and I'm going to come back in here full strength a couple of times. And it's kind of upside down. Hopefully you won't be able to tell once I get the leaves on here. And that is going to give me a couple of different shades of this beautiful blueberry bushel. Some light and dark. It's just not, there we go. I wanted another dark, okay. Variation of the same shade, which is always very effective. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of Granny Apple Green, and that's going to really brighten things up. Although I have a lot of blue and white, I don't want it to be so monochromatic that it gets to be a little bit too much. So little pops of color are going to help with this. So Granny Apple Green, let's get some leaves going here. And we'll do a few more over here and flip it over here and do, I'm going to get right up into that white space there and a little bit more over here. And that is going to be it for my stamping. Lots of blue and white, almost like a Delft look. And let's clean this stamp before I put it away. And that way this is all ready for my stampers at Saturday Card Class. I have some ladies who are regulars. I call them the blues girls. They always love a blue card. And truth be told, I like to have a variety of colors with my card classes so that people get to experience a lot of different colors. So that is going to go right across there, and boom. Lots of stamping on this. This is the kind of stamping I really love, when we get to do a lot of just kind of free form, lots of different colors and shades. I think it's a lot of fun. So this is really just stamp, ink, and paper. That is all I've done on this card, but I've made a lot of wow factor, and I did put a little label die here just to dress it up a bit. But this is a super easy card. It's really fun for new stampers. It's also really fun for veteran stampers. You're probably going to get your hands inky, but I hope that you will consider getting painted, painted lavender. If you have not gotten this yet, I think it's actually reduced in price. So this is on the last chance list. It's going away. I believe it's reduced in price. And there are no greetings with this, so you can put any words you have. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you have a lot of words that you could use here. But this one is really cute, and so this is also on our last chance list. This is not reduced in price. And I think this is the Citrus Blooms Designer Series paper. Can't remember if it's marked down or not. I think it might be a little bit. I don't see Corinne here. She's usually my girl who can really help me with those things. She seems to be very keyed in on what's available and things like that. So there's card number 1. And just a reminder, if you place an order between now and Sunday, I might have said Monday earlier, but I meant Sunday. Between now and Sunday, you know what, I should give it to you till Monday because it's Easter weekend. Anyway, you'll get all 4 card kits for free mailed to you and the tutorials. Okay, next up, we are going to do a Mother's Day card. And I have a little bit of a tip and a trick for you on this. And I've already done the stamping because this is what I really want to highlight. Now, this is another one of our items that's on our last chance list, one of my favorites. This Layered Florals is a gorgeous 3D embossing folder. And that is what I've used here with some, this is Fresh Freesia, and I have Lemon Lime Twist. Lemon Lime Twist is my favorite green. I love every lime green under the sun. And in fact, one of my friends at church wore lime green to church on Sunday, and I went, oh, I love your outfit. Love, love, love it. Okay, now we are going to combine this with a little piece of Designer Series paper from this. Oh, Margaret, I'm so glad you like the colors. This was, it is. This is called Refreshed Beauty. And this is a 1/4 pack of the paper. This was from a paper share. And this was one of those patterns that we had many years ago. And they went in and redid the colors. Well, if you like lime green like I do, this is a paper you are going to love. So I'm making another Mother's Day card. I got one done last week with you guys for my daughter. This one is probably going to be for my daughter-in-law. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this kind of slice action. So this piece is going to go here. And I'm going to slice this. I just have my paper trimmer. So we're going to do kind of a funky angle. And the key with this, in order to get it to really work well for you, is you want your angle so that you get about half and half. And that way you can actually use both of these. You can use both of these pieces and living dangerously here. Let's hope. Yeah, they're about equidistant. And that's really what you're looking for, but you want that angle. So this allows me to use a 5 1/4 by 3 inch piece, which means I have very little waste. And then I'm going to pop that like so. And that gives me that funky angle, which I can tell you, it just gives a lot of interest and a lot of variety. And especially, I think our younger moms tend to like those, although some of us just like things on an angle. We like things a little bit different. So again, this is a 5 1/4 by 3. And I took a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of cardstock, ran it through, and then that way I can use both of these. And this one is going to be on an angle here. So let's go ahead and put that down. Now I'm using a stamp set that again is on our retiring list. And I will tell you before I forget it, this paper is marked down. It's called Refreshed Beauty, and it's actually marked down considerably. And I think the colors are so fresh and pretty. So there is my base. Now, like I said, I did go ahead and here is the stamp set and dies. At one time it was a bundle. It no longer is, but the stamp set and dies are retiring. And some really amazing dies. Not only that, hey, Catherine from Jacksboro, Tennessee, welcome, welcome. Not only do you have dies that cut out the stamped images, but some of these leaves and flowers, they're really, really outstanding. So there's also a fabulous Mother's Day greeting in here, real scripty font, really pretty. So that is how I came upon it. Now, let me show you my original because I used I used a different pattern. I have my angle different, and I didn't realize I was doing this, but I realized after the fact, this is basic gray. I wanted a softer look than black. But I realized my ink pad was pretty faint. I inked it up again and it got a totally different, look. I also used Fresh Freesia here, and I inadvertently picked up Highland Heather here, but I think it works. So I'm going with it. I think that they're just different looks and I like them both. So, you know, one of the things about our light purples, whether it is, Petunia Pop, which is one of our in colors, or Fresh Freesia, which is probably my favorite of the purples, or Highland Heather, they all work really well with one another. So they're not interchangeable, but they blend with one another really well. So I do like that. And I think that both of these really work. The main difference really being that, I used Highland Heather. But you can also see, this is basic gray and this is basic gray. I definitely needed to ink up the pad needed to be re-inked. So let's come along here. And we have purple, purple, purple. And I think that is a great look for a young mom. So we are going to be celebrating with our daughter-in-law who lives here when Mother's Day comes around, and mailing something to our daughter-in-law, our daughter, because she's up in Virginia. Now, these are not on the last chance list, and I do love these. These are iridescent faceted gems, and they're really, really awesome. So let's get cracking on these. And I'm just going to scatter them. I'm going to put one here so that this really shines. And then we are going to just kind of have them. I don't really like to put them in the center of these roses because the center of the rose is its own beauty, and I like to not try to cover it up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, let's go 4, and one more, 5, so that we have a lot of sparkle no matter which way we turn it. So lots of last chance products there. So there's card number 2. And just a reminder, if you place an order of $40 or more between now and Monday, I will send you the card packets for free. And that was Stippled Roses. And that was Refreshed Beauty Designer Series paper. Now we are going to use another retiring stamp set, and that is Hugs for Love. This is quite new. This was in our spring book, and it did not carry over, although the punch did. So I'm going to use a couple of pieces here, and I'm going to use Misty Moonlight is my one color, well, it's my one ink that I'm going to use, and this is going to be kind of a patchwork design that we're going to do. So let's go here, and I'm going to put my words in first. Ooh, I just inked this up, and it looks like it is going everywhere. This could be interesting. Okay, we may be stamping off first. I obviously needed to mash that in and didn't get that done. Sending you a big hug. Let's see how it's going to look. Woo, nice and dark. Okay, that is Misty Moonlight, but it looks really, really dark because it's got fresh ink. Now I'm going to go right around it. You know, there's all these cute little frames, and I'm going to use this one with several little hearts instead of just one. Let's see if I can. Whew. Oh, Lord have mercy. I just did it upside down. Wow. Okay. Okay, this is going to require more than a little bit of water. I will rewrite that. Wow. One of those days. One of those days. Part of the reason is because I'm using a really flat block. And, you know, I end up with so many of these little blocks from all of our kits. And I sometimes use them in card class. You see how much easier it is to do this than to try to put the words inside? I think this is much simpler. So that is going to go there. And I don't have too much ink on my hands, all things considered. So let's take that and let's punch it out. So this is one of the punches in our new annual catalog. This debuted in the spring book, and I think it's called something like To the Point. It's super cute. I like it. I think you can dress it up or down, and we're going to frame it tonight, and I will show you what I mean. So let's take that, and I punched one already from Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to cut it in half, and I do want it to be pretty even. So now I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on each of my frames and just come along here and line it up like so and like so. You can see I ended up with more than one card with blue for tonight. Got all our blues going here, but wait till you see what I'm going to put this with. Okay, so now comes our patchwork, and we are bringing in Peach Pie. Look at there. Peach Pie, and I'm going to use 2 different designer series papers to make a little bit of a patchwork. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get all my layers down. So this is Peach Pie and Calypso Coral, and look how nicely, ooh, that is not a, boy, I tell you what, my layers are really off tonight. That white is not going to work. It's not the right size. So let's see if I have a piece hanging around here, or if I have to go get one. I have been working today on lots of, yeah, these are all the wrong size. Let's see what I can, yeah, these are the ones I just, yeah, these are the ones I just tried. They don't work. Okay, hang on. Let's see what I can come up with here. So this is also going to be the wrong size, but it's going to be easy to trim. The others were too small. And if it's too small, yeah, you can't really, my patchwork will not work if it's too small. So this needs to come down 1/4 inch. This kind of seems to be the theme tonight. Everything needs to come down 1/4 inch. Did I do that right? Seems like it was a little bit cattywampus. Oh, I don't want to do that again because it's going to take off another 1/4 inch. What am I doing? Pay attention, Candy. Okay, here we go. Okay. So now we have our white layer. Very good. It's still a little bit short. Hopefully we will be able to make our little patchwork pieces work. So I'm using pieces from the Ocean Friends, and I'm using pieces from, this is the one from Ocean Friends, and this is the one from, this is the one that has all the end colors in it. Cannot remember the name of it. So I've got this little patchwork thing going, and I do find when you're doing this kind of a card that the best thing to do is to use your liquid glue so that you can move these around a little bit. Oh, Terry, it's good to see you here tonight. I'm glad you're having fun with me. It is fun, you know? It's what we do. It's our stress release. It is so good for us, and it's good for our brains, you know? Especially stuff like this, the math stuff. I struggled a lot with like algebra, geometry. I think probably because I had moved so much. I was in so many different schools in elementary school that I didn't get a lot of really good foundations. My dad was in the Army, and at that point in his career, he was moving a lot. as he was doing all kinds of different things. And so by the time I hit high school, any place that I didn't have a good foundation and didn't have a natural aptitude, it kind of started showing up. Math was one of them. But my mother sewed everything I wore growing up. So I was used to measuring because I can measure really well. And I can do, arithmetic really well. Algebra, yeah, not so much. Geometry, yeah, not so much. So, but my husband is a pastor, but before he started doing his studies in Bible and really felt a call of God on his life, he was a math major, so he is my math whiz. Okay, there we go. There's my little patchwork, and look at there. Look at there. We got a big, bold hug in the middle. And I think that this is one of those cards you could send just about anybody. Sending them a big hug. And again, this, the designer series papers here and the stamp set. Actually, this designer series paper is on the last chance list. I'm not sure about this one. Somebody here probably can tell me. Now, I'm going to put a couple of little gems on here. I don't need much. And I will show you on my original here. I used these that are from the little duck suite. But I did have a couple of these left from, we're down to the dregs. But I think... You know what? I think these are a little bit pale. Even though they are peach pie, they're a little bit pale. So I think I'm going to go back to my original plan and grab a couple of these. And what's nice about these is they have that little, they're almost like cracked glass. They have that little bit of white in them. And that is going to give me just a little bit of that peach pie to tie it all together. So that is card number 3. So we have, this is card number 3. Card number 1 was our fun fold, open book. Hey, Cynthia, I'm so glad you're here. Card number 2 was our Mother's Day card, and with a slash effect. And last but not least, we're doing another fun fold. And this time, we are going to use Strawberry Slush. This is one of our new in colors, and it looks so good with a lot of things. And here we are going to use, I think this designer series paper is called On the Go. It's in our online exclusives. There's a whole suite with this paper, and the paper has all these cute little suitcases and stuff, but I like the B-sides. So that is what I'm going to go with. And we are just going to do a little bit of, again, a little bit of patchwork here. So let's start with, actually, I think I'm going to start with this one over here. Kind of funky again with all of the maps. But I think that all of these lines, actually, they just look good. And I don't have to have them on a card that has to do with travel or even on a scrapbook. I think here, for this purpose, it just has... it just kind of adds some interest. So there we go. And now I'm going to bring this piece. I wanted to overlap them a little bit, and I wanted more of the Strawberry Slush. So I'll show you my original. I used a different pattern here. And my favorite, I didn't use my favorite. Anybody else hoard their favorite patterns? There is a plaid that I love in this set of papers. Okay, so that is going to go there, and this piece is going to go here. Isn't that sweet? Lots of patchwork tonight. All about the measurements. So if you get the card kits with an order, I don't know if anybody's used that new ordering system yet. You can go to shopwithcandy.com, and it'll take you right to my online store. If you already have an account, you're probably, I don't know if you're going to have to select a demonstrator when you're at Shop with Candy. I'm not sure, because all of this is new for us. Okay, now we're going to have a little fun with some stamping again. Oh, I got to put this on the inside so we have our place to write. I think this is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, if memory serves me. So this is going to go right like this. And again, I have kind of that whole color block thing going here. Now I am going to, whoopsie, this is the glimmer paper that carried over. So this is the Shy Shamrock. I'm going to put dimensionals, but I'm only going to put them on the back here because I want this to be able to fly open easily. So let's just do these, and I am intentionally putting this down and putting my stamped piece down last so that I can center nicely. And then I'm going to put another piece of Shy Shamrock right like so. And then we're going to do a little bit of stamping, and we're going to use a last chance list stamp set. So all of this is carrying over, or it's this paper, this on-the-go paper is an online exclusive. So it was just released in March. Okay, now let's get, here they are. This is the stamp set I'm using, and these are the colors I'm using. These are the colors actually that's in this suite. And I'm going to grab the little leaves and the flowers and enjoy today. I could do You Are Loved. Let's do You Are Loved, because my first one I did, that way you can see the two different looks. Just slight differences. Now, my recommendation when you do the stamping on this is to start with the leaves, because we're going to put all of this on this one little piece of basic white cardstock. So we have to be able to fit everything in, and my block is right under my nose. Here we go. So let's start with the Shy Shamrock ink and these leaves, and I want to get them way up into that upper right-hand corner. And then I'm going to do them again right down like so, so that they are both kind of viney looking. Now I don't need my Shy Shamrock ink anymore, so I am going to close it up so I don't stick my fingers in it. And next I'm going to come in with my greeting, and I'm doing that in Strawberry Slush. So this is my introduction of a new in color. Make sure we're right side up. You are loved. This is a really nice sentiment to send, again, for any occasion. And then, you know, if you wanted to on the inside, you could put happy birthday or just you're loved. And that's enough. That's enough reason to send a handmade card. I do like that greeting, and I'll show you the original because I used a different greeting. Okay, now let's clean this because I'm using the same block for everything. Now we're going to come in with these flowers, and there is a right side up, and I'm using crushed curry. I think this is one of those unexpected color combinations that Stampin' Up! Is so good at giving us. Now, that has to line up. I need it right over me, which may or may not be right over you. Oh yeah, there we are. Okay, so that is nestled down in there. Pretty good, pretty good. And you just kind of have to turn it a little bit until you see where the leaves are. Well, there we go. And like my daddy used to say, you kind of have to hold your mouth right. Okay, I did so well on the first one. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Angle it just a wee bit. There we go. That's it. Okay. Just take a little second and it will reward you. Hey, Chrissy, I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. So that now is going to go right on here. Isn't that pretty? I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now, on my original, I'll show you my original because, oh, I need to put that down. On my original, I'll show you, I used the little crushed curry sequins, but I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to bring out the pink, and I don't have any strawberry slush embellishments just yet. So you can see the different patterns and a different greeting. Everything else is the same. So let's pull out, you know what I had? Just use some, do we have some pearls that would look pretty on there? I don't want to detract from all of that glitter on those. That's kind of sweet. I think we might just go with white. There's already a lot of color there, so I think I'm just going to go with white. Here I added these little crushed curry sequins, and it almost looks like more flowers. But sometimes you just end up with well, I don't think it's too much color, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, I like that. I'm going to like this. Putting these in the center of some of the flowers, but maybe not all of them. Let's see. Although, I don't know, we could just keep going. We could just keep going with these. And I do like that the pearl has a little bit of shimmer and sheen, but it doesn't detract from this glimmer is really strong, but I like the strong. I don't want to pull anything away from it. Now, if I had a if I had a Strawberry Slush Blends marker, I would color these pearls, but I don't have that yet. They were not in the pre-order. So, you know, we're just kind of getting things in dribs and drabs. I kind of like that, but I think I'm going to add a couple more up here. Girls and their pearls. Okay, there we have it. There's card number 1. That's my original, and here's the one I did tonight. I do like the pearls. I like the subtlety of them, and I do like the different greeting. So that is it for tonight. That's a wrap. This is card number 4. Card number 3, we're doing a lot of kind of paper piecing. Card number 2 was our Mother's Day and the original, and then the demonstration card. And then here was our first card. So we had another fun fold. So if you would like to get these card kits for free, oh, I forgot to put my little hearts on there. If you would like these card kits for free, make sure that you place a $40 minimum order in my online store, shopwithcandy.com. Make sure that you've selected me as your demonstrator for the card kits. So some of you shop with various demonstrators to get various things for free, and that is totally fine. That is totally acceptable. But make sure that you are choosing the person for the, the things that you want to get. So I'm going to grab these. I'm going to show you just a little bit of a difference here. Oh, I like that. So if you want these card kits, you need to make sure that you place an order at shopwithcandy.com. Make sure that I am the selected demonstrator for you, and I will ship you these cards for free next week. So let me just show you the tiny little detail on here. Hey, thank you so much for being here, Margaret. I appreciate it. Oh, the antique pearls. Yes, they could be colored too, but you really need to use the blends, and I only have a regular marker right now. On my original, I put hearts, and on my demonstration card, I used the little birds. Using the gold or the brass to pick up the gold in my ribbon. Lots of last chance items. Make sure that you put them in your order that you're going to place this weekend, or that, make sure that you have not left anything behind that is going to sell out and that you would be sad about. Lots of great new things coming, but I have, it takes me a while to say goodbye to the things that are going away. So that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you watch the replay, I would love for you to just say replay. And if you are watching on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe here on Facebook if you follow. That will help me so much. And make sure that you also get notifications of when I'm going live. Thanks again for tuning in. Take care and God bless.